Hey guys, it's Shreds. I am currently editing this video and I realized I kind of want to do a little intro. So welcome to this What I Eat in a Day Workday Edition video. I did end up eating vegetarian all day on this day, but that doesn't happen all the time. I'm not vegetarian. I don't have any dietary restrictions. I just like eating foods that make me feel good. And honestly, every day is different. I get sick of eating the same things often, so I'm always switching it up. And this is just what I ate on this particular day. We are jumping right into breakfast with one of my favorites. I'm heating up a pan with some oil, throwing some bread in the toaster, and grabbing my eggs. If you know me, you already know where this is going. I'm making avocado toast with eggs and a side of fruit. And hear me out, I know this is extremely basic, but I used to make this all the time in college, and I still make it while working full time because it takes 5 minutes to make, it's delicious, and it keeps me full until lunch, which is huge. I usually eat half an avocado at a time, and the half I do eat I cut into tiny pieces before squeezing lemon juice on both halves. The one going back in the fridge will be better preserved with lemon juice on it, but I also really like the taste. And then I mash my avocado up on my slightly burnt toast. Yes, that was an accident. And then I added everything but the bagel seasoning on top of this. I know this is all self-explanatory, but don't forget to wash your fruit. I did have a strawberry casualty, RIP to that one. And after I got that washed and cut, I decided to make my omelet now that the pan is nice and hot. I know not everyone likes cooking their eggs on high heat, but I just like to get it done quickly. And I personally also like my eggs very well done and covered in hot sauce, so that's what we're going for. For lunch, I made a super quick rice, quinoa, and tofu bowl. I started off by chopping up some spring onions and cilantro, and then I got my extra firm tofu, drained it, and cut it up into cubes. Now it's time to coat it. You can use any type of flour or cornstarch. I used Basin, which is chickpea flour, but I've also used regular and almond flour. Now it's time for the fun part, the seasoning. I pulled out the handy dandy spice dabba, and this is completely customizable to your taste, but today I used turmeric, salt, and chili powder. Unfortunately, I did lose the footage for the rest of this recipe, but all I did was put my tofu on a pan with some oil on it on medium to low heat, and once each side of my tofu was golden brown, I took it off the pan, put it over some leftover rice and quinoa, and topped it off with some spring onions and sesame seeds. This is the best part. You ready? You ready? What an angle. What an angle. Okay. Yep. Yep. Look at that phone. Yep. My pre-workout snack definitely changes every day depending on how hungry I am and what time I'm going to work out. I worked out right after work at 5 on this day, so I wanted a lighter snack and this was it. For dinner, I had an Asian-inspired pasta dish. Usually I'd use soba noodles, but brown rice pasta is all I had, so I went with it. I threw in some mushrooms, bean sprouts, bok choy, and spring onions, but use whatever vegetables you want. Like the recipe I made for lunch, this one is completely customizable. Now for the sauce, I used sambal, which is chili paste, and it can be found in some stores. If not, you can use sriracha, and I also used soy sauce and sesame oil. I started off by bringing a pot of water to a boil, and while I waited for that, I washed and cut my vegetables up. For the bok choy, I just cut the ends of the stems off, but for the rest of the vegetables, I cut them up into smaller pieces. I used spring onions again for this meal because I love them. I pretty much love all forms of onions. And then it was time to stir fry my mushrooms up. I personally like cooking mushrooms separately in some olive oil, vegetable oil, any kind of oil. And then once that's done cooking, I set it aside to use later. Then I put more oil into the same pan to cook my bok choy. This does not take too long to cook, and it wilts down quite a bit. After cooking the bok choy for a bit, I put a heaping teaspoon of chili paste in, and then I threw some soy sauce on top of that. The chili paste is really spicy, which is why I didn't add more, but I pretty much eyeball all of this and then taste and add as I go. Then it was time for the noodles, and then I mixed it all together. While mixing it together, I did end up adding some sugar to offset the spice, and then I threw in my bean sprouts. These take a very short amount of time to cook, so that's why I put it in at the end. Here's me sneaking in a taste before throwing my mushrooms in, mixing it up some more, and then putting my spring onions on top. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that dessert is the most important part of the day, so today I had a few of these cookies from Whole Foods, and that is everything I ate on this work day.